Hi everyone and welcome to Murder UK with me, Vanessa. Today we're in Whitmore, which is a beautiful rural village, and we're visiting the grave of a 39-year-old mother of four whose death in 2002 was originally classed as an accident, but it was only through her own father's determination that it was proven to be murder. This is the story of Anita Stead. Anita Jane Stead was born on the 12th of December 1962 to parents Betty and Bertram Whitehead. She was well educated and a joyful, wonderful individual. Anita shared with her husband Alan Stead 4 children: Rebecca, William, Olivia and Georgia. Anita was truly devoted to her children and worked hard to keep them safe and happy. She was full of life and was also described as having a beautiful personality. Alan Stead worked as a delivery driver, and as a sideline, he sold counterfeit computer games from a hidden room in his garage at Slindon Close, Waterhays, Newcastle-under-Lyme. It was apparent that Anita thought the world of her children, but the marriage to Alan was proving to be difficult and very challenging. Alan was a very controlling husband, and this took its toll on the marriage. One day, Anita told Alan she wasn't happy and she asked for a divorce. Alan didn't want to lose his children or his home, something he wasn't in control of. He would do anything to protect what he had. Things calmed down for a while until one fateful morning. It was Monday, the 27th of May, 2002, when Alan was woken up by his 2-year-old daughter screaming that the house was on fire. Alan quickly scrambled out of bed and managed to get outside, rushing to nearby neighbours to call the emergency services. Alan could see the fire was in the garage and tried to enter the house again to see where Anita was, but the smoke-infused garage proved too much for him. The fire brigade arrived as well as other emergency services. They extinguished the fire, and on entering the property, Anita's body was found in the back part of the garage, but sadly, she was pronounced dead at the scene. A post-mortem report concluded that Anita sadly died of smoke inhalation. Fire investigators ruled that the fire had started due to an electrical fault, but the garage was so badly damaged that they couldn't confirm how. It was classed as a domestic accident. The police were informed and no further action was taken, and Anita's death was classed as accidental. Anita's father, Bertram, Bert as he was known, was not accepting that Anita's death was accidental in any way. Anita had confided in her father earlier that year that all was not well within the marriage and discussed initiating divorce proceedings. Bert approached the police and voiced his concerns over the death of his dearest daughter, but police advised him that there was insufficient evidence to arrest and charge Alan Stead. Bert wasn't taking no for an answer. He soon set out doing his own investigations. He worked night and day, while Bert was busy tirelessly working to get witness statements. Alan was turning Anita's children against their own grandfather. The older children didn't know why their granddad had this vendetta against their father and chose to have very little contact with him. Bert's determination to seek justice for his daughter came at a high price, leading to the end of his second marriage. He quoted, "I lost my daughter, 4 grandchildren and my second wife because of this." Bert spent 6 painful years gathering as much evidence, working to reveal the truth surrounding his daughter's death and to prove the case against Alan Stead. A total number of 6 files were handed in to detectives, but the only person who listened to Bert was the coroner. He assured Bert that he would ask the police to look at the case again. This in turn led to the coroner cancelling the inquest and calling for a police investigation. Police looked at the evidence and after a second police inquiry confirmed that it wasn't actually an electrical fault that had initially started the fire as originally first thought. It had, in fact, been started deliberately. In the February of 2009, Alan Stead appeared at Stafford Crown Court. The jury heard how Alan had exaggerated his rescue efforts because he wanted to be seen to have tried even harder than he had. Under questioning from defence barrister Mr. Gareth Evans, Alan Stead told the court he had not started the fire and that he had no plans to murder his wife, but he did admit telling lies to the police. He told the court, "I definitely exaggerated how thick the smoke was. I felt like I wanted to tell people that I tried harder than I did." When Mr. Evans asked him if he tried to rescue his wife, Alan Stead's answer was simply, "No, not entirely." He had lied about the events on that tragic day. The court heard how on the morning of the fire, Anita came home after dropping the 3 older children off at school. Alan was waiting for her and lured Anita into the hidden room in the garage where he locked her in before starting the fire. He set the whole garage alight. There he waited until the fire took hold. He then ran to neighbours begging them to call the emergency services. Anita's final moments must have been horrendous. Being trapped in a little dark room with thick black smoke is beyond comprehension and even more difficult to imagine. The jury at Stafford Crown Court took less than a day to find Alan Stead guilty of murder, and on Friday the 13th of February 2009, Alan Stead was sentenced to life, serving a minimum term of 25 years. On sentencing him, Mr. Justice Astle concluded that Alan Stead had planned his wife's murder step by step, luring her into the computer room and locking her in before starting the fire. He said, "You piled lie upon lie and said you'd not been able to rescue her. You lived with that lie for years, and it was only those who suspected you from the beginning that enabled justice to be done. Your cruelty has shown no bounds." In January 2016, Alan Stead died in HMP Dovegate Prison of natural causes. And reacting to Alan Stead's death, Mr. Bert Whitehead said that he still didn't have closure over the death of his daughter. He said, "I'm glad he's dead, to be honest. It takes him out of the system. It took 7 years to get the initial decision of domestic accident overturned." He added, "I've had to live with this and have tried my best to help my grandchildren. I've spent years trying to resolve this situation." And Bert finally admitting, "I won the battle, but lost the war."
So that was the horrific story of Anita Stead. Now, before we go and visit Anita's grave, her father Bert actually passed away in 2019 and is also laid to rest in the same cemetery. So I thought it was only fitting for me to come and pay my respects to Bert. So here we are at the graveside. And the stone reads, "In loving memory of Bertram James Whitehead, 12th of the 12th, 1926 to the 25th of the 12th, 2019, aged 93 years. Father, grandfather, rest in peace." God bless you, Bert. And now let's go and pay our respects to Anita. So we've arrived at Anita's grave. If we just take a look at the memorial plaque, it reads, "Precious are the memories of Anita Jane Stead, née Whitehead, 12th of the 12th, 1962 to the 27th of the 5th, 2002, aged 39 years. Sincere and loving wife, devoted mother to Rebecca, William, Olivia and Georgia." And you'll also notice as well that Betty, Anita's mum, passed away in 2021. So they're actually reunited now so that she's not on her own. So God bless you both, ladies. So if you found today's murder story interesting, don't forget to subscribe, drop me a like, and feel free to comment. Until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye for now.